First of all, this year is dedicated Refuah Shlema, B'ezrat Hashem, to Brina, Bina, Bas, Miriam, Bela. B'ezrat Hashem, she had Refuah Shlema, with all the calling that need Refuah Shlema, and Hatzlacha Mishpachat Katz. And there were so many ideas going through my head, and I'm rambling them off to my husband, and I'm looking and inspiring, and I'm like, I don't even know what will come out, because these parshas are so exciting, and life is so exciting and so complicated. And then something happens in your life, and you're like, okay, the parsha is speaking to me. So there was a common theme, and if I could, so it all breaks down to Emunah. Everything in life breaks down to Emunah. And Avram Avinu is known as, but Moshe Shapiro brings, he's the Av, like he is the Rosh of Emunah. And my question, first of all, my question is, what exactly is Emunah? Have we ever really thought about it? Like, what exactly is Emunah? And then also, what does it mean? He's like the Rosh of Emunah. What are you supposed to learn? How do we learn to get Emunah? How does Emunah help me? Does it even help me? What's it like living with Emunah? There's tons of svarim out there about Emunah. And it's not even something that's so tangible, really. For me, the way I find Emunah to be is how I feel it in my body and in my reactions, which are not necessarily, some of them are, that's the most tangible place I can find my Emunah, is how I feel in my body and in the way I react to things. But sometimes reactions are trained, and sometimes even body can be a little bit trained. So let's get to the hardcore also of Emunah. And I wanted to actually just start with the beginning of the Parsha, right? I want us to be introduced to Avram, and also something very interesting from the end of last week's Parsha, Parsha Noach. That was when we were first introduced to Avram as being a part of a genealogy. Okay, he's a descendant of this person, he marries this person, he's the uncle of this person. Like it's very matter of fact. We don't hear anything like when we're, Noach, and the reason why we know how Noach, we said, brought, like a sense of menucha, and his name, Kesher, with Noach, and Noach was ish, tamim, tzaddik, all these adjectives about Noach, which mind you, now we don't ever hear about Noach again. And Avram is like a little bit of okay, this guy was born, his name's Avram, by the way, he's married to this person, and by the way, he's the son of this person, and he happens to have a nephew, and he's the brother. Okay. So he's born, and then really we're taught there's like 75 years of silence where we know nothing about Avram Avinu. And I'm reading this Parsha in the beginning. Okay, Hashem comes. El Avram. So first of all, we know he's Avram, right? Not Avraham. And what's the first thing that we're having an interaction with Avram? Mind you, in the last Parsha, we were actually told that his father was going to take him to Eretz Canaan. So there's already like a plan. Imagine like you're saying, I have this plan on going somewhere. It's in my mindset, or like I have a plan. I'm going to go, I'm going to go buy this. So someone tells you, oh, okay, let's say I'm saying I'm going to, supermarket, I'm going to go buy some milk. And someone says, go to the supermarket and buy milk. Like that's my next. Is it very dramatic? I mean, I don't know. I'm asking you. Like, is that such a dramatic? This is going to be how we're going to get to know Avram Avinu, as we're going to find out that it says and also in the pasuk says in Nehemiah, "Umatzata et levavo ne'eman lefanecha." We're talking about Avram Avinu as being the faithful one. Why? Because he just was going anywhere. He was going to go with his father. And what's the 75 years of mystery? So Hashem comes, and the famous Lech Lecha, right? We have the famous double usage of this word, and this word is so much in these first sentences. The story about Avram Avinu is one of going, being told to go. He goes. We're going to see a lot of Lech, 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 Lech. He's going, and we have the famous Me'aretzecha. So first of all, from your land, right? We're going from something very general to being something very specific. I've lived in a couple countries, and it's getting less and less, honestly, but it used to be such a big difference to go from one country to the next. And like now, I remember, like I think it was 2 summers, I don't remember when, but I think it was 2 years ago already, maybe more. I was I met with my mother. We did a meeting, and it happened to be we went to Washington, D.C., and I brought my oldest daughter and my baby with me at the time. And we're on the, tourist site, Washington, D.C., double-decker, and this French kids are like next to me, and I speak French. And I'm looking at them, and if I hadn't heard them speak French, they looked like Americans, like with the exact same clothing, the exact same style. I'm like, what happened to the culture of any country anymore? So it used to be, you go from your culture, your land was like it was huge, right? It's going from that. So we're going to find also, what does it mean? What's the Torah trying to tell us with Aretz? What's this Aretz that you have to go from? okay? And then the place where we're born, right? So that's like a little bit more intimate here. We're talking about, your extended family. You're talking about your neighbors. You're talking about our beautiful neighborhood here. And then where? And then from your father's house. Okay, so I have to go and make this transition of going to all these things in order to do what? To go to haaretz. Doesn't even say where. But I always took it at the fact that you're not telling me where to go means I must have so much faith. But I'm looking at it, I had a totally different now perception based on some things that have happened in my life. So I hope this is going to bring meaning and purpose and connection. And then and what is it that Hashem shows us? The Aleph, that Hashem Elecha. And then what do we know about? Not only are we told to do something that anyways really he's going to do 5 minutes before with Terach, his father, who's going to take him to Eretz Canaan. But then it says, and guess what? You do this, you leave these 3 stages in your life, or these 3 concepts, and you go to the Aretz. I'm going to make you into a Goy Gadol. Like, I'm putting you out there. You're going to be huge, okay? And I will bless you. And I will increase your Shemecha. I personally feel like a lot of this is repetitive. I'm feeling this part of the Parsha to me sounds very repetitive. It's like Lech and then Lecha. Okay. And then you're going. And then I'm giving you all this, and it's Vaya Bracha. You're just going to have so much blessing. And then whoever blesses you is going to be blessed. Whoever curses you is going to be cursed. Are we seeing this a lot of repetitive language? There's like maybe there's a theme going on here. And then again, he's going to bless him. Kol mishpachot ha'adama. Like you're B'niruchu. I'm saying everyone's going to be blessing you. And then what happens? Guess what? The suspense, you guys. What happens? What's going to happen now? What are we expecting? Okay, we know the story. But what's happening? It's such suspense. Like, okay, so he goes. And we hear he goes, just like what Hashem told him. And then again, Vayilech, Ito, Lot, Avram, and then he tells him, right? And he's going, and it's, okay, if I'm going, why are you then telling me, B'teteh me'aran? I'm leaving. And then he takes his wife, and again, Lot, the nephew, and everybody that he's acquired, right? And then what, you guys? What's the famous word? And what do we sing again and again and again? Ve'yitzu, he goes out, Lelechet. Aletza Kenan, Vayavo Aletza Kenan. Okay, so we're looking at this and we're seeing a theme. Maybe there's a theme. I don't know. I saw some things here, and I want to ask you. We're going to think about number 1. What's this Aletz? What's going on here? What am I supposed to be leaving? Also, where am I going to? Actually, I wanted to even tell you guys where he went. Not to think about it. He goes, he leaves, but I wanted to say this inside. I'm going to give you this. He then comes to Eretz Yisrael. If I'm going towards a place, why are you telling me then that I'm coming there? That I came, I should say. Vayivo, he came. Sorry. Vayivo Eretz Yisrael, he comes, right? And he's going to come there, he's coming. And then it talks about Vayivo Avram Ba'aretz, right? Ad Efo B'makom Shechem. Okay, this place called Shechem, he comes to this land in a place called Shechem. Ad, Elon Moe, and Rashi brings it to the same place. What is it? Hakenini, Ad Ba'aret. Okay? All right. So we have the beautiful, Baruch Hashem, we have inside the Torah telling us something, and now we're going to see what this message is. If I were to tell you also, you know what, you guys, Emunah, believe it's going to happen. And you're like, okay, I know it's going to happen. Hashem's coming to you personally with the card. It's like not just like someone sending you a letter in the mail that you won the lottery. You're getting the mechtav from HaKadosh Baruch Hu Etzmo. You're getting the letter from Hashem saying you got this. The mortgage, I paid for it. The rent, I'm paying for it. The house, I found it for you. The shidduch, no problem. The child, you got it. The Yeshua, your salvation, you got it. The baby, it's going to be born. It's going to end. Like, there's a time. The pregnancy will end. And even that, a woman knows. I can't tell you, every single woman I know in her 9th month, hello, it's going to end. Like, it doesn't go until month 17. Like, there's just no way. Neither the doctor or the mommy or the baby, but no way is it going. And yet she still doesn't believe it's going to happen. Isn't that crazy? Something that we have, Moshe Shapiro brings, there's something called Emunah of Emes, which is like, of course that's truth. If I were to tell you, Ani ma'amim sheyesh li yad, I believe I have a hand, you're like, of course. Like, I see it. Like, that's why an ed, a witness who's ma'amin, is the one who says the truth. You know, I mean, we believe him if we hope he's saying the truth. So what's the second stage, though, that Avraham Avinu brings into this world of Emunah? First of all, it's what am I doing in the time until I get to that promise? It's a very deep, deep question that we have to ask ourselves. What am I doing when I'm so anxious and I really am working on my Emunah? Hashem, I see this kid being matzliach. He's going to be great. She's going to be fantastic. You know, I'm believing it. The shidduch's going to come. The money's going to come. It's going to happen. I'm believing. And in the meantime, though, I really have Emunah in that emes that Hashem can do it. I really do. It's factual for me to believe that I know God's there and He's. But what's going on in the meantime, and where's that second part of Emunah of really, says Rav Moshe Shapira, of that I truly and completely, totally depend, lismoch on Hashem that He's doing it. And not only that, also, what am I doing in the meantime? Avram, it was so amazing to me. He's being promised by Hashem, I'm making you to this great nation. He didn't see it, you guys. I'm saying he didn't really see it. I'm giving you a son. Okay, I'm 75 years old. You're coming to tell me something that seems a little bit far out. We're not talking about, and then, I was feeling so sad for Avraham Avinu because you're telling him to go to Haaretz. We talked about this word Haaretz. And then there's a famine there. Isn't that so unfair? Can I just tell you the time that I did the Segula, and I went to the Rebbe's kever and I did 3 times, this one, in Tzil, and then like I'm waiting for the Yeshua. The next day I get the call that no. It was so, I did this and that, or you did everything, you mamash, you did everything. And now I got the no. I don't believe it. I did all the things that the Rebbetzin told me to do in the Shir Shel Shalom Bayit or Chinuch Banim, and the kid is spitting in my face. And my husband is not paying attention to me, and this is happening to me. And I'm doing everything according to the books. I'll pee, whatever, and it's not working. And then what happens, in parentheses, my daughter, I'm like going like that because what did I do? My oldest daughter did the Ketzana in the summer, like a little camp. And she made everyone these like handmade, homemade bags. Like sewn. But she's very cute. And the younger one, who's 10 years different than her, right? I found it. I was cleaning, doing like kind of like winter, fall, spring cleaning, one of those days where you like have a second and you're just like, let me clean. And I find it, it's like, I think it was moldy. It seemed wet to me. It was in a drawer and I threw it out. Okay, I made such a mistake because you always have to ask permission. You know what I'm saying? The hysterical cry of the child that I threw out the moldy, wet thing, I can't explain to you. But then comes the creator of the bag, my malach, my daughter, my old one. She's like, I'll make you a new one. And in 5 seconds, she's whipping up. She still had fabric, Baruch Hashem. She still has everything. And she made one that was so much prettier and nicer than the old one. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to you, excuse me, I created this place for you to go to. I created the situation that you're about to be in. Do you really believe that I am doing this in order for you to descend, in order to stay descent? Or don't you understand that when he went to Mitzrayim was so he could bring back the Rechush Gadol that Hashem had told him, I'm going to give you. If I don't sometimes break something, lose something, even destroy something, and I'm talking about myself, if I can't humble myself and go down, I'm telling you there's no way really that we can go up. And the loss sometimes in the moment is so painful. This week I sat in the park with a girl who had just she was dumped by her boyfriend, let me say it like that. And her pain was so intense that I just cried. I couldn't even tell her, of course, I had the Emunah in me to say like, oh my God, this is so obvious, it's not the right person for you, you're going to find someone better. And at that moment, she was in such pain, I literally just sat in the middle of this park on a bench and just cried with her because that's how I felt it. I felt that feeling of me just down. You're in that place with that person. And actually, that's what I think she just needed more than anything was someone to cry with her. And then what happens? The Emunah will never come from the outside, you guys. We have to be tzchazek otanu. We have to listen to shirim and we have to learn. I can't tell you, whenever I'm feeling down, actually for me, I open up a sefer, I listen to a shir. I'm constantly trying to pound my, because it enters. It's like Rabbi Kiva with the tipot of the water that I know, okay, Elana, it's going to get in there. Torah, I mentioned this before, is a grenade against the window. Rav Shimshon Pinko says that. It will get in there. We have to keep pounding ourselves with this theme of Emunah. Why? Avram went so much. You guys don't think that these 75 years we don't hear about him in the Torah. We have lots of midrashim about Avram Avinu, but more he was curious. He was asking questions. He was really trying to understand what is this world? And is there a God? It means that he spent at least 40 years before he became to the point where Hashem said to him, Lech Lecha. It wasn't an overnight, everything's good. Just take a deep breath and be calm. Like have a little bit more patience. Yes, have patience, but do the work. Because then when you get to the age 75 years old and Hashem says to you, Lech Lecha, and you have no idea where you're really going, even though you thought you knew where you're going. And not only that, it seems I have to leave so much behind in order to get there. And it's my comfort zone also. Telling me that I'm leaving, do you know how many people don't make Aliyah because they're not going to get their products? Now we have iHerb, we have all these things, but Amazon. But like that was, I remember coming to Israel and people bring, it was like, there's no way. I still have my Tom's deodorant, by the way. Okay, I've been here 22 years and I will still get my Tom's deodorant from America. It's hard to leave your eretz. You know what I'm saying? You're the way you were born, your culture, like uprooted. I can't tell you how much I uprooted myself. Leaving the house for the apartment, leaving this, what I had to uproot so much of me. But you want to hear something that was the more powerful thing that I've ever in my life had to uproot? It had actually nothing to do with anything tangible. I had to uproot myself. The Aleph says, the Sfarim Kadoshim, Rav Moshe Boyer brings, what is this idea of your land, and then the place you were born, your like family, all these different things? He says there's 3 different levels of a person. Okay, what's Meretzecha? This is Ma'olem Ma'aseh. The things that you do. Sometimes you have to uproot yourself from your actual physical habits, from what you do. Right now we changed the bracha from Mashiach Baruch Hu Gefim, and now we just started adding in. We're davening here in Eretz Yisrael. This week we started davening. We changed the bracha from Baruchenu to Balech. At least that's how the starting say it. So, do you realize that Chazal in our Chachamim tell us api halacha 30 days you do this, and then you can be sure that you got into the pattern. Well, guess what? Nowadays, neurosurgeon, all these. Science tells us that it takes 30 days for, neurons that are fired together are wired together, or wired together are fired together, meaning that's actually how long our sages knew. Our rabbis tell us, api halacha, it's going to take you 30 days. And guess why? Because Hashem created the teva of the brain, not because they found this out because of science, but he created the brain that it would take 30 days for you to get into a new habit, right? Because your neurons need to be rewired. So first of all, Ma'atzecha here, Rav Moshe Boyer brings, is actually your masim. Because also sometimes I can't just leave my country, and I can't leave my family, and I can't leave I can't leave my situation, but I can change my actions. And then what's miloletecha? That's halev regesh. What's it? Amoledet hi ha'ima. It's your emotions. Can I actually change my emotions and actually go away from them? This is like, and where is that coming from? The ima of Apia Kabbalah. The ima is bina. Bina means understanding. It's filtering. Can I filter this differently so that I will feel different about the situation? And then Mibet Avicha. This one's very powerful. What's the Abba according also to the Kabbalah? It's the Moach, it's Seichel. It's actually the intellect. It's Chokhmah. Hashem was coming to Avram and saying, Avram, I know you're looking for me and you're doing the work. And also, what is this? I don't know who said this, because there's a lot of quotations. I didn't say it. I'm going to read it to you. I didn't say it, but it's written. It's written. It's like, I'm not sure, because at the end, it's actually, there's a quote from Rabbi Nachman in Breslau, but it's not, someone else is saying this, but it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful teaching. Okay, what is it? The Emunah comes, Ladam, it says, it doesn't come Be'adam Bekalut. It's not something that's easy to achieve. We don't just snap our fingers and be like a Kol B'Seder. Sometimes you're just sitting in the park and you're crying, and it's okay, right? So it's something we have to be constantly working on, right? When it's you have to, it takes a lot to get there. And listen to this. You have to work on Emunah. Now, this to me was such a chiddush. What does it say in Masechet Megillah? It says, Yagata matzata tamin. I've always heard this to be. You put in your effort, your shtaldus. Ribon Shalom with Tzitera Shemaya, you'll be a Metzia. It's only from Hashem helping, and you're going to get it. You guys, what's this beautiful chiddush? No, Yagata, put in effort. Matzata, you'll get Emunah. If you put in the effort of working hard in this and toiling in your Avodah Hashem, what is Emunah? I'm learning everything. I'm like, this week, I'm like, everything's all the same. I'm reading with my daughter, Rav Shimshon Pinkus, on Emunah. And of course, the paragraph that we read, this, we're learning that page was about Avram Avinu being also. I'm like, I just read this from Moshe Shapiro, I just read Moshe Boyer, and I'm reading from Shimshon Pinkus at exactly the same time in my life. And he's the Av of Mamash. Avram Avinu is the one who gives us Emunah. How do you get Emunah? We have to work hard at it. It's a toil. It's a yigi'ah. But also don't give up on the process of Emunah itself. Just because today you didn't get it doesn't mean tomorrow it's not going to be a little bit easier. Your body's going to react a little bit when that doesn't come. The day after you finish the segula, you get the no from the yeshiva that he wasn't accepted. Pele. But then go outside of yourself. Can you change the way you're acting? Can you change the way you're actually even feeling? And can you change the reality of your seichel? I just want you to know, fast forward, he's now learning in the very yeshiva that was rejected to him, that I even called the mother of the Rosh Yeshiva, and I was told no. And he's there now. How? Go outside the seichel a little bit. Because he's meant to be there, not because I pushed, actually. Adkad. No. I did do my eshtalis. I did my effort. I made some phone calls, and my husband made phone calls, and we were told absolutely not. And then out of nowhere comes a Rav and says, this boy, he's a superstar. He's a pearl. Take him. We didn't ask for this, but this Rav was not someone we did our hishtalis with at all in any way. If you go outside, you think it's only going to happen this way? Excuse me, we're introduced to Sarah. The only thing we know about her is she not only is barren, she doesn't have kids. Hello, again, repetition. Yeah, she's barren. There's no way she can have kids, and she doesn't have kids. She's completely and totally barren. There's no womb there. This is what we're going to call our Ima. This is our first Ima of the world, right? We're getting ready for the Yurtzeit Rachel Imenu, and also my Bubi Lavasham Froma. But actually, I never knew her father's name, and she's Ashkenazi, but she's from a Bat Chana. So it's same day, Yud Aleph. So, and she was also, 4'11", Holocaust survivor, like partisan fighter in the forest, surviving death camps, and then having her first child at the age of 35, which was my mother. It's crazy. No, go outside, reality of what you think is the teva, of what is the nature, of what your seichel tells you. Avraham Avinu is teaching us. You got to just be consistent. I'm asking you not to just actually have Emunah based on fact. I'm asking you to go outside of it. Go outside of what you think. This is how the ma'asim, what's going on, of how it's going to look like according to what I'm doing. Go beyond even how I'm feeling about the situation, that I can't, and also go on what's logical in your head, what your mind is telling you. Powerful. Yagata matzata ta'amin. You'll get Emunah. And for me, I have to tell you, I think all of us also, if we really go inside ourselves and we really are truthful to ourselves, really, when is the time in your life where you felt calm? Has it been when you got the thing that you wanted? Is that a lasting sensation of, I believe, or is the lasting sensation of being at peace with what is in this moment? I mean, I personally can tell you that I went through a lot of things this summer into the fall, and my whole life will be going through things, because as long as we're alive, Hashem is testing us. And I'm going to actually share something very personal, which will become very public. But I think there's a toilet to it. There's a reason to it. My littlest, he was born. I was almost 44. So when I was pregnant with him, first of all, just because of protocol, you get to a certain age, you go to the doctor, and I was high risk. I'm almost thank God, healthy, active person. But I was already high risk because of my age. So I was sitting in the office with my husband in the doctor's office. And the first thing the professor, because I had to go to a professor because I have to have a specialist because you're so old, high risk. He's like, look, he said, honestly, you're not high risk. He said that to me. You're really not high risk. This is just a protocol. But I need to tell you all and they rattle off. The child could be born with Down syndrome, and it could be a preterm baby. You could die. Yeah, miscarriages are you're like the whole race. Would you like to do the test? Would you like to do tests? And it wasn't coming from it was really coming from a place of calmness. My husband and I were sitting, and we're like, no, we're okay. I hear the consequences. I hear the this. I hear the that. Both of us, and we're completely and totally calm about hearing all the different options that we had and what we would do. So, Baruch Hashem, and Mamash just Chazeh Hashem, my Moishi was born healthy at almost 44 years old. Okay. And he's a riot. I once got a bracha from a Rav before we had children. And again, I can tell you my whole journey, I so relate to Abraham and Sarah and their journey and all the imahot and avot of fertility and that wanting and that journey of really thinking that something doesn't seem like it's going to be possible. And I got a bracha once from a Rav that I was going to have 12 children. Cool. And I was already 20, almost 26, right? Meaning like we'd already been, and why am I saying that? It wasn't like I was maybe 19, 20 and being, I mean, bracha at 20. So I was already, no, I wasn't old at all, but like still 12 children. He told me 6 and 6. So I said amen. I was like, but should we say amen for that or not? I was like, amen. A big tzaddik, mikubal, okay? The bracha came to fruition. My children are handfuls. I have 6, and like I think I have 60 sometimes, depending on the child. I got the bracha fulfilled in more ways than one. And it's so funny because you sometimes think that the bracha has to be like the tzaddik says it's a gevera. He says it's going to happen. It just doesn't necessarily mean it's going to manifest in the way that it will happen in your life. Not to mention the fact I'm thinking about how many bas biases I have and how many women I actually think are like my daughters, like mamash. I actually have a lot of children. Thank you, Hashem. So going back to the sensation of feeling calm, and then I had another incident that happened to me where I looked at the situation and I had been so stressed out about it because I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it, the outcomes. And then fast forward, I worked so hard. I did such a vayilech, vayotze, vayavo, right? And we're going to figure out what does it really mean to likanes be'eretz Yisrael? What is this avitz that we're talking about? And I came to such a tranquility when I was like, I'll be okay with this option that Hashem gives me, and I'm going to be okay with this option that Hashem gives you, and you're going to be okay with this option that Hashem gives you. And I'm telling you, the options were not good ones. I was, in all ways, there was like a lot of not being good. In my eyes, I'm saying. Difficult, a challenge. I shouldn't say not good, just challenging. I'm like, I'll deal with that, and I'll deal with this situation, and I'm going to deal with this situation, and I'm going to deal with this situation. And what happened? The situation happened, one of the not good ones, and I was okay. I was mamish. I knew I was okay because all I davened for the whole entire 2 months I was going through that nisayon was Hashem, let me be okay with whatever it will be. This is, I think, the Emunah of Avraham Avinu. I'm going to Eretz Yisrael. I'm going to be calm that there's a famine. I'm going to just pick up and go somewhere else. Why? Because I'm okay with what you're giving me. Why? So this is so beautiful. This is something that I have to tell you, I kind of made up. So if it's not correct, it's okay because it's, saying meaning, I can only be blamed on myself is what I'm trying to say. But I was davening, and I have a couple questions. The first character we're introduced to in our tefillah is Avram. Number one, why is Avram with Magen? When I think of Avraham Avinu, I think of the chesed, the tens. He's very, very friendly. You know what I mean? Like maybe like a Zaidi who's just like giving candies to everybody. He's chesed. Like he can't. His test is always doing the like. No, I just want to give. I don't really think of him as like Magen, like the protector and the like, defender and the shield of Am Yisrael is Avram. And then I'm like, wait a minute, maybe Emunah is the protector and the shield of Am Yisrael. Like, what could be more chesed than that of me knowing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with me? I can't think of a more chesed than that. I can't think of sitting on a bench with somebody when I'm in pain and I'm just crying with me as being more chesed, actually, than just know you're not alone. Emunah is, you have a relationship, Rabbi Shimshon Pinkus brings, Hashem is real. This is your biggest magen you will ever have in your life when you're about to pass a test and you're just like, I don't know how I'm going to react to that. And all we have to do, I think, is daven Hashem, just let me be with you and you with me in the process of this. Let this journey of coming and going, and then, so that's my biggest magen. But then this morning I was davening and I was like, Hashem, please just, whatever should come out of my mouth should be your emes. And I tell you, and we have this tefillah that we say every day, that we're asking for Hashem, likabatzenu yachad me'arba kanafot. We're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a gathering from all the four corners, ha'aretz la'aretzenu. To ha'aretz la'aretzenu, to the land that's our land also, and then mikabetz nichei amo Yisrael. So when I think about, when I'm all over the place in my mind, which is galus, when I'm davening for a gathering, I'm like, Hashem, let me gather in my emotions, my thoughts, and my feelings right now. Like, let me be menucha nefesh, yeshuv dat, let me sit, right? And every day when I say that tefillah, I daven for that. I actually daven for an ingathering of my thoughts and let me be okay, and also for the zechut to be in Eretz Yisrael as a physical location. But today I had a totally different idea of perception, which is what this is the whole thing. Hashem is telling Avraham Avinu, I think, the word ha'aretz, aretz, we don't call any other country ha'aretz. Do you realize? I don't call America ha'aretz. I don't call Canada ha'aretz. I don't call, Spain or China or it doesn't work like that. I mean, we don't call it ha'aretz, the land. In we'll see. Okay, yes, the Torah will say this land of, but when it comes to ha'aretz, so what's aretz? Aretz is ratzon. We're taught that the word aretz comes from the word ratzon, desire. I think HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying to Avram, and this is the biggest test we have in Emunah, is will you go to the thing that I'm desiring you to go to? Will you turn your ratzon into my ratzon? Will you turn your desire into my desire? So if my desire is for you to go to a place where there's nothing, and I'm even telling you it's going to be good for you, and it isn't, can you change your desire? That it's not the way you think it's going to be, but the way I'm asking you? The concept of Eretz Yisrael, I think, and this is why when we're talking about Galus, we're being kicked out of Eretz Yisrael. Just imagine, right now we're about to get to Rachel Imeinu, and I'm thinking to myself, she's called her mother. First of all, biologically, she's not the mother, really. I mean, some of us maybe are Binyamin, I don't know who anymore, but she's really not anyone's mother biologically, but not to mention the fact that she had a really sad and depressing life. And she didn't even get to see anything. She gave birth. I mean, can you birth and died in birth? I can't imagine more this. And it was like the Ima is the first two letters of Ima is M, which is the first two letters of Emunah. The mother, the concept of mother is, I'm doing your Ratzon Hashem, I'm with you and I'm making a connection. And that's why also when we believe in our child, what's the idea is I'm connecting this child to, it's not going to be based on my emotions, how I'm feeling right now about the child. It's not going to be based on the actions that the child is doing. It's not even going to be based on logically that the child can't read and I don't know if they'll ever be able to learn to read. I'm going to be an Ima. I'm having a Emunah and I'm just going to connect it to Hashem. Hashem, your Ratzon is this is my child. I'm embracing it and I love this child and I believe in the child because I believe that Hashem can expand. Tomorrow they'll come up with the method that he'll learn how to read. You know what I'm saying? If Sarah can have a baby, and hello, we are the descendants of Sarah Imeinu. If there's yesh me'ayin, if there's something from nothing, then I can for sure believe in this child and the consistency to be a mother that says no matter what situation, and that's just not talking about a biological mother. It's motherhood in general. Because like I said, Rachel Imeinu isn't the mother biologically. She's our strength of consistent, steadfast, I believe in you, and your Ratzon Hashem is going to be my Ratzon. Avraham Avinu gave us this gift, and it really is a gift. When I relinquish my will to Hashem, I can't tell you how much my body relaxes, how much I'm given koach, but I have to work on it. It doesn't come like in a snapping my fingers kind of thing. So when I'm asking for gibutz, I'm asking for also, I think, the concept that I'm going to be kicked out when our Ratzon is not Hashem's Ratzon, when we're doing whatever we want, not what He wants, but what we want, He kicks us out. And yet you can also be out there, and if you're doing Hashem's Ratzon, that's when you yavo la'aretz. It wasn't just leaving from a place and going to a place. You're able to enter Eretz Yisrael, the concept of Eretz Yisrael, no matter where you are in the world, even if you didn't leave, wherever you are. You're able to enter Eretz Yisrael when what? You enter into the Ratzon of Hashem. And okay, we don't have the clarity of Avraham Avinu telling us exactly what to do. So that gets a little bit scary sometimes. And that's why, Baruch Hashem, we do have Das Torah. And it's a practice, So we have a couple of things I want to wrap up here of what are we trying to work on and what are we trying to bring to this. Is really, there is nothing more sweet in the world. And actually even, it's brought down Rabbi Natan. No, not Rabbi Natan. I read so many things right now. No, it was from Rabbi Moshe Boyer, but also my husband told me something very beautiful, Rabbi Natan. That you actually sweeten the deen when you accept Hashem's Ratzon. When you're accepting Hashem's will, you're sweetening the judgment and it turns into chesed. You think the chesed is, I'm going to give you an example, this recently, example of, someone was dating somebody and you're waiting to get married and then the person rejects you. And it feels like the most terrible thing in the world. comes Mr. Chesed and says, come on, they should just get married. Like, why did you let it go? You know, chesed would be just do what you, like, I want to marry him. So, like, I'll do chesed with you. Hashem says, I'm going to make it work. Like, meaning not make it work. I'll make you get married. And then, God forbid, it's like the worst thing ever. The Dean up there in Shemayim says, no, I'm going to make him dump her because I have a better person there for her. When we're accepting the Dean of what happened as the reality, all of a sudden it becomes matok. It actually turns into the most wonderful chesed that there is. And I really am thinking into all my stages in my lives when I'm not happy, when I'm miserable, it's really not because of the person or the situation. It's because I'm not accepting Hashem's ratzon. Very small, simple case in point. This week, like right after we get back into the swing of it, I have a kid sick at home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if any of you can relate to this. Like, it's like you're finally, or like, let's say you finally finish paying off something, and then all of a sudden the washing machine breaks, and you're like, you know, or like you finally caught your breath on something, and literally you're going down to, now you have to go down to Egypt. And I sit there and I'm like so resentful and angry and upset because like I want a little bit of quiet time. I want to be able to do my work or be able to do my laundry without a child around. And now they're home. And I'm not going to go into, well, Baruch Hashem, I have a kid and like another, you know what I mean? I can't. I'm upset. Really? I'm going into Hashem, this is your ratzon. This is mamash your ratzon, and you mekabel it. And then if this is your ratzon, it means my tafkid right now to be with my kid. And then also the kid's not so annoying. Really, it's true. I'm telling you. The kid itself becomes not so annoying because I've changed also how I act. I've changed the way I'm thinking, and I've gone beyond logic that I have to be confined to, I need my quiet space in order to be calm. Do you know how much we say that? I need a vacation in order to like relax, or I need this in order to happen? No, who says that? If Hashem's not giving it to us, then that's not true, because there are people who get there of that calmness and the vacation without having the vacation. Very powerful. So I'm going to give us a bracha, B'ezrat Hashem, that we should be able, that even though it's not easy, that we should actualize and utilize the time that Hashem gives us until we are truly waiting for the promise that Hashem gave us, which is emes, you guys. There's nothing more emes than Hashem's word, right? And we're waiting for like it all to be b'shleimut, like it's going to be, it will happen. And this is the emes that we're living by and we have to breathe by. But we also had to utilize, you know, and capitalize on the time that we have until we get there. And also give us a bracha that we can get outside those things that confine us to like, Hashem, I don't think it's really going to happen. You know, can I change the way I'm thinking about it? Can I change what I'm doing about it? Can I change even like that? How is it physically possible about it? Can I go beyond, like Hashem told Abraham, go outside. Why does so specifically him telling him to go outside? Because you've got to go outside. You have to realize, Am Yisrael, we are not according to nature. We know that. You guys, each one of us knows that in our stories, right? You're not living here because you're according to nature. That's for sure. There's no way that such a small land that Hashem is saying you're going to be blessed, you have such a big name, and like, who are we? The smallest people. I read yesterday in Yeshiva World News that like, I can't remember where it was, but it's so horrible in some country, and like murderers went in and like killed like, and did anyone see this article? Like hundreds of people in a hospital, machine gun down. I can't remember the details to be honest, but it was horrific. And what was the paragraph? This is not in the news of any other newspaper because there's no Jew involved. Shem Gadol, we have a Shem Gadol, but what does it mean to have a Shem? And why is Hashem so strict with that? I'm going to make you a great name. Because the Shem is the essence. It's part of your neshama. So sometimes we do our nisyanot and Hashem says to you, I want you to do my will. And you're like, but I didn't get that thing that you're promising me, Hashem. Where is it? And Hashem says, I'm making your neshama great. I'm making your Shem great. I'm making your essence great. Go to Shechem. What's Shechem? It's a place where there's a Shem and a Mem. Inside Betochu, enter inside your essence. Enter inside your kochot, your strengths. Enter inside yourself. And also enter into Eretz Yisrael. It's hard for us, but the more we make His will our will, this is the Emunah. It's like the lifeline. It is our magen. We should always zocheh that Hashem should always be giving us this capacity to be able to connect to Him in ways that are also matok and sweet, and that the talich, that the process, the going doesn't have to be so hard. But each step of the way, we have to realize that it is bringing us something. It's not repetitive. It's not repetitive. It's teaching us something very important. It takes a yigiyah of a matzat tamid.